Shelli, welcome back to another segment in our Contractor Liability Insurance Series.
Yes, thank you, Jim.
This has been really fun. You mentioned it a little bit in some of our previous segments, but in addition to a very good experienced agent, you are also a risk management specialist. And we've discussed that a little bit. And to me, that sounds like a significant differentiation. So could you sort of talk a little bit about that and maybe what it takes to have that designation along with your agent status?
There is a definite distinction between insurance brokers and agents and a risk manager. Okay. Risk management is exactly like it sounds. It is managing the entire risk of the account. It's looking at all aspects, safety to buying an insurance policy. It's everything, every layer, looking at the subcontractor agreements and the sales contracts and everything that they do, warranties. And this could be for the general or the subcontractor. It's everything that they are getting involved with, tying it all together. I see conflicting contracts with guys all the time. They're telling them one thing here and another thing there, which is death. That's an attorney's dream come true. We can argue that for months in court, that going nowhere, right? So a risk manager will take everything about that risk, fleet programs, everything that get the hands on, and then coordinate it all, and then make recommendations for it. In general terms, the major things, there's a lot of forms of risk management. But for contracting, the basics are minimize, avoid, transfer, and then adding anything that you can. So minimize would be don't do the job, avoid it, don't do it at all, and then transfer it through an insurance policy. And I think I mentioned in one of the other segments, it sounds ridiculous, but the least effective, most expensive is buying the insurance policy when you can do a lot of other things to minimize your risk. Right. And then those things actually save you money on your insurance policy, but it shows you're forward thinking, you're proactive, right? You're not just going, I don't care, I'm going to do this best of my ability, and if it's wrong, I'm going to let my insurance pay for it. Terrible attitude. So a risk manager is looking at everything over the top. An agent broker is selling policies.
That totally makes sense.
Right.
And you mentioned that if I wanted to, potentially in a couple of weeks, I could be selling against you in the market.
Right.
What's the education, commitment, investment to become a risk management specialist?
Right. So like I said, there's many different facets of that. So for construction, there's quite a few courses. It's a lot of work.
I mean, we talk on year, 2 years?
Yeah, no. Well, I've got
wallet
probably 8 years of education in different areas. You take different classes and earn different designations that build up your portfolio, basically.
Okay. And you've looked at it really as an investment to better serve your clients.
Right.
At the end of the day, just do a better job.
Right. I don't want to just sell a policy and say, here, do the best you can, right? I want to make sure that everything works together.
Gotcha. Do all agents or brokers have a relationship with the risk management? It seems like they're really strategists, and you almost seems to be smart to have somebody involved. If I'm buying from, maybe my agent's nice, great, but it sounds like I'd like to have somebody looking at the big picture and coaching, helping, strategizing to cover my business.
Well, an agent broker too will make recommendations, higher deductibles, avoid this, whatever in general, and coverage recommendations, where a risk manager is still, again, going to look over the whole top of it and suggest alternative products that might be better and things that maybe an agent broker who's just, usually you go to your agent broker and you say, I need this, I need that, and they're going to give you this and that. And they might make a recommendation, but they're not necessarily looking at a complete overview of everything. And most agents and brokers, the really large brokerage firms will have a risk management division, but the smaller ones, unless they're really specialized like my company is, then I actually have a separate risk management company. So I bill out my risk management hours out of that. And then my brokerage firm, we just sell insurance. Okay. They work together, but not all agents have something like that.
Yeah, I know you touched on it here just recently, but how does it specifically benefit the client to work with an agent that has access to a risk manager?
Yeah, overall, it will save a lot of money.
So
you won't nearly spend the money on insurance premiums and headaches. You know how you find out your contracts that all work together? You have a claim.
Right.
And then you spend forever, defending yourself because you said one thing here and another thing there. Your sales contract says this, but your warranty says that. And, or you've signed a subcontractor agreement as a sub. You had no idea you promised all these things because you just signed it without reading it.
Yeah.
that happens a lot.
You and I grew up in a day where everybody says experience is the best teacher. Well,
Right.
a very smart person say really other people's experience is the best teacher,
Yeah.
ideally. Well, it sounds like at the end of the day, it would be wise, even if, say, I'm a trade contractor, like my agent, they're doing a pretty good job for me. If they don't have that relationship, I should potentially even think about seeking that out and just having somebody evaluate my business from that perspective.
Yeah, sure. How do you know your agent's doing a good job? You don't know until you have a claim.
Yeah,
You know, you're just paying a premium, you have a policy, it's a pile of paper, it hasn't performed for you yet
true.
until you have a claim. And that's when you're going to find out you wish you had a risk manager.
Once again, another great segment.
Yeah.
Thank you.